王楚钦1-3丢掉手牌。
那在第一点的王楚钦呢，输掉了比赛，所以现在樊振东压力就大了。
第二盘，樊振东为中国队扳平大比分。第三盘，马龙有些被动，3-3平之后连续丢分，最终以4-11告负。中国队大比分再次落后。
樊振东现在也是代表中国队背水一战。
In the Busan World Team Championships semifinals, China was pushed into a real breaking point. After back-to-back losses in the first two matches, the scoreboard showed a 1-2 deficit. One more win for South Korea, and they would snap China's 20-year undefeated streak at the World Championships. Ending 2 decades of dominance in one night, the arena was deafening. The Korean supporters and coaching staff could barely contain themselves. Champagne was already lined up. Their faces carried the kind of thrill only a moment like this can deliver. The belief that history was seconds away. On the opposite side, the Chinese bench sat in near-frozen silence. Wang Hao clenched his jaw courtside. Ma Long stared forward, locked and heavy. It wasn't a lack of desire. It was the reality of the moment. No strategy felt powerful enough. No prediction felt certain anymore. The only thing left that could flip the script was one man walking toward the table. All eyes turned to Zhendong. On the broadcast feed, he looked nothing like the player the world remembered. The unstoppable, violent panda. The force known as the powerhouse. He sat pale, gripping a plastic hot water bag against his stomach. But when his name was called, there was no more time to sit, no more time to heal. He had to stand and face the table. It had been over 200 days since his last title. Months filled with recurring injuries and uneven form. The doubt surrounding him was loud, and the weight on his shoulders felt just as heavy as the 1-2 score glaring in front of him. Game 1 began. Zhang Wujin was fully ignited by the home crowd. Decisive, fast, and fearless. His intention was clear: finish the night early. At one point, the score gap widened. It felt like the momentum was rapidly swinging South Korea's way. But Zhendong refused to get dragged into a head-on collision. He didn't rush the fight. He simply sent every ball back, stroke by stroke, willing to extend rallies rather than gamble on low-percentage risks. Then came the moment the rhythm cracked. A slight hesitation from his opponent was all he needed. With a sudden burst of wrist-twisting topspin and smart placement shifts, he seized control, mixing powerful backhand flicks with unpredictable angles. 11-6. China stole the opening game. The arena changed instantly. The roar dipped. The noise lost its edge. One game had passed, and the building was noticeably quieter. South Korea now knew this night wouldn't end quickly. Game 2 began, and they pushed the tempo on purpose, launching waves of continuous attacks to disrupt fans' pace. The score stayed tight, neither side letting go.
好球！好球！好球！好球！
At this stage, Zhendong's physical decline was impossible to miss, but his shot selection stayed disciplined, controlled, patient, precise, only taking what the match finally offered him.
漂亮！哇，这个球必须得回放。好球！非常聪明啊，樊振东，这11-7。
By game 3, South Korea was out of options. They threw nearly every offensive weapon forward, piling pressure onto the table in relentless waves.
可以，没有太好的直接抢攻的机会。漂亮！漂亮！
But in the moments the stakes peaked, Zhendong found another level of calm. His shots weren't always the hardest or the fastest in the arena, but his reads were always a step ahead. China won the match, and with it, wrestled control back in the series. Zhendong exhaled a long, deep breath of relief. His job was done. His mission was complete. Now, the next chapter rested in Wang Chuqin's hands. In the end, China pulled off a stunning 3-2 comeback, a reversal no one saw coming. South Korea's head coach said it best: "We didn't lose to Team China. We just lost to Zhendong," and he proved it, earning the men's MVP award at the World Team Championships. But when the victory chance faded, an ironic truth surfaced. In many of the celebration photos and headlines, the hero of the night was strangely hard to find. In one team picture, you had to zoom in again and again just to spot half of his face, barely visible between his teammates' arms. Even more absurd, a sideline shot of him eating bread while studying a tablet was labeled as snacking too much by online media. The real story? Japan had switched their lineup without warning, and China's scouting data was incomplete. Fan wasn't eating for fun. He was stealing seconds between bites to analyze match footage. Prepping for a battle he had almost no intel on. He carried China to the biggest win in Busan, and somehow, the narrative flipped. The man who delivered the two most critical points for China that night ended up fading into the background. Today, Fan Zhendong has stepped away from international competition to reset, recover, and rebuild. And for Team China, this is the toughest part of the transition era. Old guard fading, new stars still learning how to stand alone when the pressure peaks. Surrounded by rising rivals, the next generation is still searching for that moment when they can grab destiny without hesitation. And that's why the 2 points Fan delivered in Busan weren't just wins on a score sheet. They were the anchor in a storm.